everyone, it's Kelly here from Kellie Chasse Fine Art, and I want to show you what I did with this canvas board. I have a 8x10 original alcohol ink painting that I'm going to glue just using regular old school glue. We're going to attach this right to this canvas board. So you want to make sure you have it nice and covered. I had a hard time squeezing it out there, so I just took the top off and just dumped it on there. Make sure it's all nice and spread out. Now please ignore my watercolor stuff on the back. This is just an old board. I figured I might as well use it up. So I've got that adjusted and already pre-cut to fit that canvas, and you want to make sure that you've got no air bubbles in there. Make sure you have that down real good. You could also use like a foam roller if you wanted to. I'm going to let that dry and for about 24 hours, and then I went back and I'm mixing up some art resin here and making sure I'm stirring it for 3 minutes. And we're going to do a quick first layer here, just using a regular paintbrush here. So we're going to get a nice good coat on here. This is not real thick because I don't want this to waste and run off on the edges too much. You can see that I have a lot of air bubbles in here, but we're going to go ahead and torch this once we've got a good coat on here. So I'm not worried about the air bubbles. Usually I would let this kind of sit and I wait it out, and most of those air bubbles will kind of remove on their own, but we're just going to go ahead and use a torch on this one today. So again, make sure I have a nice coat on there. You can see I have a lot of little bubbles up in the top left hand corner here. So let's take the torch, we'll go over that. You can see them popping, and we're going to dump the rest of that on here. Now I'm just using up 1 ounce of resin for this. I actually end up using 2 ounces in total. But you see when I heat this resin up how that really starts to spread. It gets very runny and much easier to work with once it is heated up. You want to make sure, of course, that you don't burn it, so you don't want to leave it in one area for too long. But now that I have that on here, I can really kind of spread that out now. Still have a few air bubbles in there, so we're going to go ahead and torch it one more time. And you don't see it on here, but I do put one more coat, so I end up using 2 ounces of resin for this particular piece. Once I have this initial coat on here, I mixed up another ounce of resin and just poured that on like I just did on this one, and that really spread out quite nicely. So once this is on there, make sure you get your edges real good. I'm going to make a nice seal with that so that it does not remove itself from that canvas. We're going to go ahead and let that dry, and we're going to come back to that in about 24 hours. So here are the results of doing the Yupo paper on the back of a canvas board, and I did the resin on top. And see, this has made this pretty hard, so guess what? I'm not going to have to use any glass now on this one, and I know that my alcohol inks are nicely sealed behind there, so that really should help the worriness of fading for a lot of you. And hopefully you've checked out my test that I did on the ultraviolet UV lights outside, where I had left a tile out there for a while. So now I have a lovely heavy-duty frame here that I'm going to go ahead and place this canvas inside. So it's almost like if I were to do an oil painting, and now it does not need any glass. It's just ready to hang once I put that in the back of it. So I'll show you the finished piece here soon. So here it is, all framed up and hanging on the wall. And it's a nice thick heavy frame. You can see that nice glossy finish that almost looks like it's behind some glass there. So there you have it. It really was a lot less expensive than if I were to buy some UV glass, and we'll be leaving this one hanging up here for a little while, and I like it. What do you think?